Association, where he's a member of the International Committee, to make his presentation.
Good morning, distinguished colleagues. It's an honor here to represent the Korean Bar Association at the POLA Summit. This theme, Courtroom Without Walls, holds a dear place in my heart because, as many of you know, last year when the South Korean president enacted martial law in South Korea, and it led to his ousting and his impeachment earlier this year. This is exactly what we observed in South Korea. Also, secondly, as I also own and operate, I founded an AI technology startup, actually right here in India, with offices in Noida, Pune, and Bangalore. I think I see both sides of these things happening. And I would also like to say, आपसे मैं कर खुशी हुई. मेरा नाम Felix JungWoo Kim है. And thank you so very much for hosting us. Our theme today is Courtroom Without Walls. This phrase is not just about technology or modernization. It is about how law, truth, and legitimacy are being stress tested in a digital-first era. I want to argue that the real challenge is not whether AI or social media will change the courts. They already have. The real battle is whether courts can preserve their legitimacy and trust when justice is lived out on screens, algorithms, and viral feeds. Courtrooms today are no longer confined to marble halls. Like I have mentioned before, in my country, South Korea, has experimented with opening high-profile cases to the public, including constitutional hearings like the impeachment of the president. More than 20 million people live-streamed constitutional hearings in South Korea, and this is historic because never before have citizens had such direct access to judicial reasoning. Transparency, in theory, strengthens legitimacy, but here comes the danger. When justice becomes performance, the risk is that cases are decided not in law, but in the court of public opinion. So the first point is virtual courts must be designed for due process, not for virality. Otherwise, law becomes no longer the law, but entertainment. Artificial intelligence is also already inside our courtrooms, quietly, almost invisibly. Platforms like Harvey AI and CaseText are drafting briefs. Predictive models can forecast case outcomes with 70 to 80% accuracy, and in South Korea, judges are piloting AI-based sentencing assistants. These tools can save time, reduce costs, and democratize access to legal knowledge. But then again, on the other side, when lawyers and judges begin to defer to the machine, human ethics, as many of us have pointed out today, erode. A model may predict, but it cannot deliberate. It cannot understand fairness or equity. Now let's turn to social media, the second wall that has collapsed. The Oscar Pistorius trial, or the Me Too movement, we observed that hashtags often determine reputations before verdicts. In many cases, reputations were demolished more than they could have ever been recuperated. The reality is that judicial independence is no longer threatened by the algorithmic crowd. It is also threatened by political power. And judges are human beings. When millions of people are posting, trending, and demanding a certain outcome, the psychological weight is immense. So what we must do is we must learn how to shield courts from impartiality, from this pressure. Otherwise, justice risks being crowdsourced, and crowds, as history reminds us, are rarely just. At this point, you may notice a common thread. The rule of law The central risk is not just AI, nor live streaming, nor hashtags. The central risk is the erosion of legitimacy. The rule of law does not rest only on whether the judgment is correct in substance. It rests on whether citizens believe in its fairness. If people believe that TikTok or X are more fair than the justice system, the entire foundation of law begins to crumble. This is why we argue that the real fight is not law versus technology, but law versus loss of trust. And colleagues, once trust is lost, it is nearly impossible to gain again. So what must we do? As a representative of the South Korean bar, I believe that courts must, we believe that courts must transform from being passive venues of adjudication into active guardians of truth and trust. We must establish AI audit standards to certify which tools are permissible, and secondly, adopt digital evidence authenticity protocols, metadata, watermarks, etc. to guard against deepfakes. Third, judicial officers must be trained not only in constitutional law, but also in AI literacy and media literacy. Finally, as we all know, no country can do this alone. Disinformation is borderless. We must make cross-border judicial cooperation across Korea, India, across Asia, across different countries, to lead a regional alliance against legal misinformation. To conclude, technology has taken the courtroom beyond its walls. AI accelerates, social media amplifies, and deepfakes distort. The decisive issue is not technological, it is moral and institutional. Can we preserve trust in the rule of law? If we succeed, courts will emerge stronger than ever, more transparent, more resilient, more trusted than ever before. If we fail, the rule of law itself risks being replaced by the rule of algorithms and crowds. And a very pivotal moment is at stake in our hands. And thank you for listening to our presentation.
Thank you very much, Kim. That was very interesting and fabulous. Your pronunciations of Hindi were near perfect. They were certainly better than mine. Okay, I sort of drifted up to New Delhi from Mumbai, where the dominant local language is Marathi. In the Bombay High Court, there's also a bit of Gujarati which is spoken. Hindi is sort of comes in third or fourth, perhaps, after English. But thank